I knew our marriage was over the moment she said it. Steady, sharp, almost bored. I regret every single day I wasted with you. I opened our marriage. She didn't blink. She didn't look guilty. She just shattered 7 years of my life as casually as someone closing a window. I stood in the doorway holding her favorite takeout, the one I'd driven across the city to get, and suddenly the smell made me nauseous. Opened our marriage? I repeated, my voice sounding far away even to me. She gave a small shrug, the kind that told me she had practiced that moment in her head. I'm done pretending. I want to live my real life. Her real life. The words felt like a blade pressing against my ribs. I'm seeing someone, she added, as calmly as if she were giving me a weather update. Someone who treats me like a woman, not a roommate. My mouth went dry. Who? Her smile told me she'd been waiting for that question. Ryan. Her coworker. The man she always insisted was like a brother. The man she teased me for feeling insecure about. The man whose name she said now with softness I hadn't heard in her voice for me in months. Looking back, the signs had been there long before this moment. The sudden late nights. Though she came home freshly showered. The gym trips where she returned without even a drop of sweat. The new lingerie I never saw her wear. The way she stopped saying my name, replacing it with hey or can you or nothing at all. But the worst sign was the silence. The kind of silence that fills a house where love used to live. The night she confessed, she didn't cry. She didn't apologize. She acted like she was freeing herself from a burden. Me. That realization hurt even more than the cheating. She stayed in the house for a week after that. Slept in the guest room. Smiled at her phone like a teenager falling in love for the first time. She walked past me like I was a chair. Something that had always been there, useful until it wasn't. Once, I caught her whispering on the phone in the kitchen. She hid the screen behind her back like she was 16 sneaking around her parents. I remember thinking, she isn't even trying to respect me. But numbness had settled in. A thick, icy layer that made me feel strangely calm. There's a moment when heartbreak crosses a line and turns into clarity. I felt it the morning everything changed. Because that morning, an email landed in my inbox. A notification from the cloud account we both used. An album syncing from her phone. One she clearly forgot was still linked. First, I thought it would be nothing. Maybe old photos. Maybe recipes or notes. Then I opened it. Inside were pictures of her and him in his car. Selfies in the office storage room. Screenshots of their messages, some affectionate, some explicit. And one video I still regret opening, not because of what they were doing but because of what she said while laughing. He still has no idea. Men like him never do. They're too comfortable. My hand shook. Not with heartbreak. That part of me had already died. What I felt now was something colder. Cleaner. Resolve. That Friday she asked to use my car because her brakes were acting up. She didn't hide the fact she was going to see him. She didn't say it, but her outfit, her makeup, the way she smelled like a perfume I'd never bought her. It was obvious. Sure, I said. Calm. Too calm. She left smiling. While she was gone, I gathered everything from the synced album, the screenshots, the photos, the timestamps, and one detail she had forgotten. She used her company phone for many of those messages. And he had too. Their company had a strict no fraternization rule. 0 tolerance. I didn't have to embellish anything. I just sent the evidence to HR with a short, polite note. By the time she walked through the door later that evening, humming and glowing like she had just lived an entire romance movie in a few hours, the gears of her downfall were already turning. I made dinner, I said, handing her a plate. She hesitated like she was trying to sniff out the trap. Why? I thought we should talk. She sat down slowly, her eyes scanning my face. I kept my expression soft, calm, like a man finally accepting the end. I emailed something to your office today, I said. To HR. Her whole body stiffened. What did you do? I sent them the messages. From the company phone. The ones you and Ryan used during work hours. Her face drained of color so fast I thought she might pass out. Why would you? Ryan could lose his job. He already did, I said gently. Internal memo went out about 20 minutes ago. Someone forwarded it to me. She stared at me with horror softening into disbelief. She opened her mouth but no words came out. For the first time in years she was speechless. You ruined him, she whispered. I shook my head. No. You ruined yourself. I just stopped covering for you. Then I placed the envelope on the table between us. Divorce papers. Filed that morning. Signed by me. Her hands trembled as she touched the envelope, like it was hot. You're leaving me? I'm giving you what you said you wanted, I said. Freedom from every day you regret wasting with me. Something in her broke then. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Just quietly. The way a person realizes they've lost something they never expected to lose. She moved out 2 days later. Ryan didn't answer her messages. Or calls. Or emails. Maybe losing your job because of your affair kills the fantasy. Maybe he was only brave when there was a buffer between him and consequences. She ended up moving back in with her parents. Told them the marriage fell apart. I don't correct her story. I don't need to. The truth doesn't need my voice anymore. My revenge wasn't loud. It wasn't chaotic. It wasn't violent. It was simple. I gave her everything she said she wanted. I let her choose her new life. And I let her watch the cost of that choice unfold. Slow, inevitable, brutal. Sometimes the most devastating revenge is not fire or fury. Sometimes it's finally stepping out of someone's shadow and watching them realize they never should have underestimated the quiet man they betrayed.